Hello, welcome back to another episode of the Life Interview. Today we have Elliot. Thanks for joining, mate. I really appreciate you coming on and taking the time to have a chat with me.
Oh, mate, it's been too long. So yeah, I'm glad. I'm looking forward to this actually.
Yes, yeah, me too, man. It's been way too long for us to not speak. So, for those who don't know, like I actually met you. I was just thinking about that. It would have been like 10 years ago that I first met
Yeah,
you.
it would have been probably 10 years ago, just in the footballing world, playing together. I think initially at, oh God, was it Glebe? I think.
Was it? Or was it Sydney CBD? I can't remember now.
Oh, so it was so long
One of
ago.
them.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
One of them, but don't you find that so cool? Like
Mm.
just through sport, like how you can make connections with people is just like most of my friends are through some sort of sport and organization, like whether it's a run club or football or something.
I'd have to agree. I think all my friends are either from sports team, specifically football. I think now that
Mm,
I think back of it, if it was not outside of school, all my friends in my adult life are from a sporting team, whether it be
yeah,
football, Oz tag, touch football. Um, and funnily enough, I think that people in sport get along with people that play sport, if that makes sense.
yeah,
I'm not too. I think like you and me, we're both pretty out there. I mean, not too many people go, yeah, I'll start a podcast, or may go, yeah,
yeah,
I'll sit on a podcast. So it's
exactly.
so yeah,
And there's a reason why I got you on, but I'm gonna
oh,
save it
okay.
until
God,
I get to it.
suspense.
So
All right,
yes.
all right, all right, all right.
So, as I always structure it, is I talk about childhood,
Mm-hmm.
moments in your life, adulthood, and present day. So,
Yep.
let's get into it. What was your childhood like?
I chose my parents very wisely. I know that's a joke in itself, but I was very lucky. I grew up in the south of Sydney, Australia. I grew up on the river. My summers essentially was either including a rope swing, some sort of canoe, boating. You're very blessed. Yeah, very blessed growing up. Um, a very quiet upbringing. Like I said, living by the river.
Yeah,
Most of my nights in winter or summer, I had my windows open. One of my early memories is actually sitting on the back veranda with my dad and just watching like a thunderstorm roll over and just like watching the clouds and lightning. So
love that.
looking back on it, yeah, I was very blessed to have a very good childhood. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was nice.
that sounds great. And what are your parents like?
So growing up, my mum Wendy, everyone loved Wendy. She had the gift of the gab, which I somewhat inherited. Mouthful of marbles underwater, as everyone would say. My dad would call her a social butterfly. If there was an event, or if there was people to talk to, my mother would talk to them. Um, that was my mum in a nutshell. My dad was more of a hard man, bit of a stoic, a hard man to love. Always loved him, but yeah, just as a hard father. Nothing. I don't have anything really bad to say against him. He was wait till your father gets home and hears about this. So you got the yelling from your mother, and then you got the punishment from your dad. So growing up in
Nice.
the '90s and early 2000s, I think that was, maybe you can attest to this. I think that was the standard. Like the dad was the, oh shit, I've done something here if my dad has to talk to me about it. Um, so yeah, that was
Yeah,
my mum Wendy and dad Victor. Yeah.
nice. Do you are they still around?
They are. So mum and dad sold their place in Picnic Point, and they now currently live down the south coast in Milton, Ulladulla. So they're enjoying,
Oh,
yeah, they're enjoying just another part of the water, another part of the world. Sorry, down near the waters. Mum's always at Narrawali. Dad's having his coffee at 7 in the morning. Plays golf at Mollymook Golf Course. They're living
nice.
the good retired life.
Yeah, nice. Did you learn a lot from your parents?
Not all. Only recently, yes. Growing up, I think I just saw them as they're my parents. You don't really think
Mm,
of, or I didn't really think of my parents as my friends. That might sound a bit harsh, but to me, they were my mum and dad. Like, I could maybe have a bit more of a joke around with my mum, but at the end of the day, they were my parents. I didn't have that kind of converse. relationship until very much I was an adult and started to see that I can rely on these two people that have always loved me unconditionally to ask questions and to kind of bounce ideas off. Um, but to learn anything from my mum and dad was learning my from my dad was probably forgiveness in the sense of because he was such a hard man as a kid. There was a bit of I don't know angst, a bit of anxiety towards him. Like, oh no, is he going to yell at me again if I do something wrong as an adult? Which is like so silly to think of, right? It's like you made a
Yeah,
mistake as a 25, 26, 27 year old. Your dad's not going to come over and smack you on the bum going, why did you do that? You know what I mean?
maybe.
Weird stuff. Um, but no, no. And then with mum, probably one of the lessons I've learned is like kindness. Kindness breeds kindness. Again, because my mum talks to everyone, but I think the reason she can do that is because everyone generally wants to talk to Wendy as well. I've never heard anyone badmouth my mother ever. I don't think I've heard a single person going, "Oh, that lady's this, that, and the rest." So, yeah,
Mm,
if anything, it's my dad forgiveness and not worry about mistakes, and his mum is kindness, and people appreciate that kind of stuff.
that's cool. And are you still close? Are you quite close to your parents?
More so, the older
Yeah.
I get, I think the closer I am. My dad and mum call me at least once a week,
Oh,
whether it is to bounce ideas and oh hey, remember to call your auntie because it's her birthday, or vice versa. I'm personally in the aircon industry, so my dad's at the moment having issues with his aircon. Hey, what
oh.
should I do? Well, do you reckon it's a board? Do you want to come? Would you change the board? I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess, but like you have to pay for the board and then I have to drive down. So yeah. As I get older, definitely I'm much closer with my parents for sure.
Well, the roles they reverse as you get older, right? So
Mm.
they look after you, and then it kind of you start to look after them a little bit more,
Oh, I
and
know,
as you get on.
I know, I know. Right? It's just not that it's there yet, but I definitely. So my dad's 72, and that's nowhere near being old at all. But I've noticed you just start to notice, yeah, you know what I mean. You just start to notice that dad who was always so powerful and strong, and that the
Yeah.
man of the house. He's not really that person anymore. You got to start talking to them as if you got to guide them because at the end of the day, like we
Mm,
talked about some sort of technology, he has no idea,
mm.
no idea. So you got to like teach him that kind of stuff. Yeah, but yeah, spot on. Really, it's to see again only recently my parents age into what you would consider to be starting to be elderly is a bit of an eye opener, for sure.
Yeah, yeah, and they're still fit and healthy.
Yeah, yeah. Mum, oh God, mum is up at doing her 7 o'clock. If it's not water aerobics, it's swimming, and if it's not swimming, it's a gym class, and if it's not a gym class, she's gardening. And
That's
dad,
brilliant.
yeah, and then my dad, he doesn't do any of that, but he's he's an ex-engineer, so he's
Oh,
building a shed. He was building retaining walls last month. He bloody moved 4 ton of soil before the retaining walls, and then there was
oh
a
God.
flood, there was rain, and then the retaining wall broke. So then he had to re-engineer it higher, and then another water came, and then it broke. So he had to re-engineer it again. So even though he's
Jeez,
not training, he's very much active and still working around the house down there. So they're both,
that's awesome.
luckily, both pretty active. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. What about siblings?
So I live with my twin brother.
Mhm.
He's in the back because obviously we're doing this. I said, "Oh, go shoo into your room. Give me a good hour." And then I have a younger sister, and she lives about 10 minutes away in a suburb called Nawe in her own apartment. So yeah, we're all still pretty close. The Gurney kids, as we say.
Oh, cool. Oh, nice. And so
Yeah.
are you? Would you say you were got on as kids, or what? What was it like growing up with two siblings?
I think, yeah, I think, me and my brother would always like fight as brothers do. I think that's a very normal thing. I would probably, just being a young boy, would gravitate towards hanging out with my brother more than my sister. I think, speaking very openly, I think I saw my sister as a nuisance more than anything. Um,
Mm.
why? What are you doing here? Get out of my room. What are you doing? you um, so, but in the general scheme of things, yeah, I definitely yeah, got along with my brother and sister for sure. There's plenty and plenty of photos of me hugging my brother and me hugging my sister, and us all being joyful together, holding hands. Um, so yeah, no, I definitely got along with my brother and sister.
Nice.
Yeah,
Do you
love
have
them now to bits.
fond memories of growing up in your childhood?
I do, I do. Yeah, yeah. I'm saying very blessed childhood growing up. I have a
Mm.
very big immediate family. So my mum comes from a family of, she has, I think, five brothers and sisters, and my dad the same, five brothers and sisters. And across both families,
Whoa.
I think I have 21 first cousins. Um, so growing up, going camping or any birthdays, we would all just come together.
Jeez.
So yeah, we had a big mob.
Yeah, that's really cool. And what was school like?
School, for me, I was a pretty good student in primary school. I think I was got A's. It was the typical Elliot is very capable, but you know easily distracted or something like that. So I'm assuming like most people around there. But I do remember a story. It was in year 5, and I got my first ever B, and I think it was English, and I cried. I
Of
remember
joy or
crying. Yeah,
sadness?
no, no, no. I just remember crying because my mum always brings it up. She's like, "Do you ever remember when you cried and you got like a B?" And I'm like, "Well, like I remember it happening, but I don't remember the reasoning why, or if it was
Oh,
because of something else." So from kindergarten to year 6, I was a pretty good student, and then I think from year 7 to year 12, I was still a pretty good student. I think if you were to ask anyone if I was in school, they would say I was a bit of a nerd, but I would always try and be part of like the cool kids. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
I'd study and then I'd see what the cool kids are doing, and then I'd try and be a bit of a sheep, like a follower to them. And it never really worked because I wasn't a cool dude. Like I was, if anything, I remember being called annoying a lot of the time. So yeah, school for me was one of those turning points where not that I wouldn't say I was like bullying, but I wouldn't say I was a bullied kid. I definitely had friends, um, and I definitely got into like tussles and stuff, and kids would say certain things to each other. But
Mm.
in regards to high school, I think that for me that was I learned a lot about um, not being friends with everyone. I
Mm.
always kind of prided myself on being friends with a lot of people all at once at the same time. And yeah, in high school, obviously, there's so many different kids from so many different schools. You're just not going to be friends with anyone, whether it
Yeah.
be they just don't like you, or they don't want to hang out with you, or they think you have a shit haircut or something. Like, you just, yeah, and that, for whatever reason, was a big toll on me. I was like, oh my God, Brian doesn't want to be my friend. And of course, Bede, my brother, is a bit more stoic than what I am. He's like,
Mm.
and so I'm like, oh, but I'm so nice to him. Who cares? Like, this is my
Yeah.
brother on the bus going, bro, like no one's gonna like you all the time. Don't worry about it. And then I
Yeah.
remember, yeah, I think it was year 9. I was kind of like, oh, okay, all right. Some people just aren't gonna be my friend. Oh,
I can
okay.
relate to you there because
Mm,
I'd say I had the same.
mm,
It's very similar at school, but what I think is, and you might disagree with me on this, but I
mm.
don't want to lead you into it. But I think I was just quite sensitive in the
Oh,
sense,
I think you're spot on there. I think I would have been as well. Yeah.
yeah. So, and I always look back and I think, were they picking on me, or were they just doing it to everybody else, and I just got really upset because of it, and everyone else just went, whatever.
Yeah, I think, yeah, actually, you're right. I definitely was told I would wear my heart on my sleeve. So, a
Mm,
throwaway comment that if I heard it to someone else, you'd probably laugh with it. But because it was directed at me, you kind of
mm,
shell up and go, why would you say that about me? Well, when in reality, it's just teenage angst. It's kid being kids in a playground. Like, come on,
mm.
Elliot. Like, you're not that precious, mate. Come on.
And it's like, I'm not discounting the fact that kids can be bloody horrible sometimes, so I'm not discounting that at
Oh, yeah.
all. But
Oh
yeah, is
yeah.
there anything like what stick in your memory, like from that time?
Look, yes and no. I remember. This is a bit blunt. I think it was like in year 11 or 12. Um, for whatever reason, I don't know why this memory sticks out. I remember because we were playing like lacrosse, and then I got one of the other kids, call him a rat bag or whatever, like was being a little bit crazy, and I've gone in to just sneak the ball off him, and he's gone back and he smacked me straight across the nose, and like blood bleeding and all that kind of stuff. And then you need like a buddy system, and then someone's like, oh, well, someone's got to take Elliot to I don't know, first aid. Oh, I think we don't. I think we didn't have a first aid. We just had a little medical area, and one of the front office ladies used to just go, "All right, here's the tissue." But it was one of the really popular girls. Like, like they used to sit by themselves, and you're like, oh, we can't talk to them because they're dancers or whatever. For whatever reason, one of them was like, oh yeah, like I'll take Elliot, and I'm kind of going, are you sure? Like, are you sure? Like, why are you going to walk me up? You know what I mean? And then as we were walking up, she was just kind of like, yeah, like, I just think it's really slack. Supposedly, oh, I didn't know this, but supposedly, again, they were like, oh, they said before we went into the PE class that they were going to act like dickheads and hopefully like smack someone in the face. So they kind of already pre doing it, and then I was just a unlucky kid that managed to get whacked. So it was,
Oh
um,
shit.
yeah, again, the reason why I bring this up, because that was the first time in my life that I've gone, why would anyone think about purposely trying to harm someone else? That sounds so bizarre to me.
Mm.
So as like a 15-year-old, yeah, that was the first time in my life that aspect of the world kind of came into my mind, and that might be a little bit later than what some people found, but maybe it's also a test to just how safe and secure like Australia
Yeah.
is in general. I don't know.
Mm. Yeah, that's quite interesting because, and because them moments they really define you who you are as a person. So,
Mm.
yeah, it's quite interesting. Do you feel like you've carried that mindset from the events that's happened in your younger life?
Mm, that specific, not really. I kind of see the better in people. Maybe even to my detriment. I just simply can't see the bad in people. Um,
Mm.
yeah, I generally think of, yeah, people do positive things. I, I don't know. It's a bit bamboozling to make the sense. Like, I just generally don't see why someone. Okay, I'll put it to you this way. Like I've said on my little like Instagram thing that I'm sure you've seen, and through Facebook, no one's going to wake up on their day, get out of bed, brush their teeth, have their morning coffee, and go, right, I'm going to ruin someone's day. Let's do it. You know what I mean? No one no one wakes up and thinks to
Mm.
themselves they're gonna do that.
I think 90%, probably 95% of the world, even though we have our differences of opinions, I think 95% of the world, we all kind of get it, and we all
Mm,
we all know that we're here to do our best and we're here to
mm,
live a good life. I think
mm,
there is a very, very, very small portion of people who maybe for a mental health illness or something
mm.
may actually wake up and and think that because you look in the US and but you
Oh, I
look at
know.
like
Oh,
the
of
US
course, yeah.
schools and stuff like that, like that's
Oh, I know.
just like insane and like
Mm.
yeah, but it's I think what people don't realize is that it's a very, very small
Oh, yeah.
portion.
I
Most
agree.
people we generally got the same
Oh,
values in terms of human rights.
yeah, I agree. Yeah, you bring up such a sensitive point in America, right? I know we can go off a little bit, but I just I just can't believe it's almost every week you just hear some sort of tragedy, where it
Yeah.
be a school, or it be it was a mosque most recently, or some sort
Mm.
of church or something. And I speak to my brother about it, and I go, would you ever want to like go to the US? And he's like, oh, not really. Like, he's not, and I'm really not that interested in going to a place that arguably values a piece of machinery more than the lives of their people. So.
Yeah. I find that fascinating. I've always said the same, but then my best friend was like, I want to go and watch sport. So I was like 100% because the sport there is insane. So
Yeah.
we went to like a pub and because tickets for the American football is
Yep.
like ridiculously
Oh,
expensive.
really? How much are they? Do you know?
like
Just off the
450 a ticket, 500
oh
like US. Yeah. It was,
Jesus.
and I didn't really understand the rules too. This was a couple of years ago, and I was a bit like, oh, I don't want to spend that much for a game I don't completely
Yeah.
understand. So we went to a pub.
Yeah.
Amazing. Then we went
Yep.
to NBA, we went to
Oh yeah.
NHL, and it was like next level. Like the
Yeah.
crowd, the atmosphere, everything about it is fantastic. But while I was waiting for my friend, because he's in the UK,
Mm-hmm.
I had 12 hours to myself. So I was like, I'll go to a pub. I'll
Beautiful.
sit here, like chill out, have a beer, whatever. Anyway, a guy bursts into the pub and was like, "What did you just say about my girl?" And the guy was like, "Go away." And he was like, "You want to
Mm.
take this outside?" He's like, "Let me finish my food." And yeah, let's do it. And the guy was like, "No, let's do it right now." And he was like, there was this whole, and the only thing what kept going into my head was, someone's going to pull a gun out here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've never thought of that before in my
Yeah.
life.
Yeah. Like anywhere else in the world, you'd be like, oh, they're just gonna 1v1 or something, and they're just gonna throw
Yeah,
hands, and that'll be it. It's the only place in the world where you're like, do I need to duck for cover? Am I going to
yeah.
potentially get a stray bullet and go to hospital? Like it's
I had like, because I was in the bloody middle. Like I couldn't be more in the middle if I tried. So I'm kind of like eating my chicken. I'm just like, I'm gonna have to like throw my body across the room, or I don't like coming up with these stupid ideas.
oh
But it's sad, isn't it? That was
yeah,
my thought process.
yeah, I know.
Yeah, but yeah, we went a bit off there. But what
Sorry.
in terms of childhood? No, it's okay. That's what I love. I love going off in these tangents. We'll go off probably a
Mm.
lot, but good job I have a little reminder here. But significant friends, did you, or influences in your life? Is there anybody who stands out from growing up?
Yeah, so I've got a very, very close friend. His name is Reese. I met him through a football team, under 11s. So
Nice.
if he watches this, Reese, how are you, mate? Love you. He's my best mate through and through. I don't need to talk to him every day or every month. I can call him once every 6 months if I wanted to. I could call him every week. He'd always find time to call me, and I always find time to call him. In saying that, though, I do have a very good nucleus of friends. Um, I have a lot of friends, probably too many, but I've got a good nucleus of friends. And what I mean by that is so Reese is probably my friend of friends, like he's my number one, and then I've got a little group of friends that again are my very close friends, and then as equally important, these little handful of friends, I've got my school. I've got my school friends still. I've got my boys. We've got a Facebook group of I think it's like 24 boys in it,
Wow.
and I love them, and I probably don't talk to them as much as I should, but at the same time, who has time to talk to 24 boys all at
Yeah.
once? But like even then, my phone buzzes a couple dozen times a day because someone's put in a thing, and we're all at that age where, like myself, I'm single, but majority of them now have wives and kids, so that school group of friends has now grown and more, and you're seeing photos of the little ones, and there's now, instead of going out to the pub to get pissed, it's now let's go for picnics, and let's all go organize family days, and let's have barbecues, but make sure we've got to be home by 6 because you've got to put little Johnny to bed, and it's just
That's so cool.
yeah.
How does that make you feel, out of interest?
So funnily enough, I battle with this a lot, and I don't know
Mm.
where I get the idea from that I sometimes feel, because I was always the class clown or the joker growing up, that I feel like sometimes, and again, um, what's the saying? Comparisons is the thief of all evil, like a thief of all joy, or something like that. So I kind of, luckily, I remind myself that's being silly. Ellie, don't worry. But my friends, when I look at them in that aspect of family life, I feel like sometimes when they invite me over or we have an event, and a lot of the mums and dads are like booking to go in, I feel like a bit of a burden. Like I shouldn't be there, even though they would love me with open arms. Oh, Elliot, it's so good to see you, Uncle Elliot.
Yeah.
Come see little Bobby, come see little Janie, like whatever. But I battle with that idea of, well, I'm just a single guy. I don't bring anything to that family unit. They don't want to see me, I'm not going to go, and I just ghost them. I just, for like, if the event's on, I just sometimes don't show up. I don't say I'm going or not that I'm going. but which is silly, right? Because I've grown
Mm.
up with them. They know me already. They know that I'm a good person. Why would I battle that idea? But with the other boys, because they don't really have that family unit yet. Well, Reese does, but again, he's my mate through and through. The other boys don't really. I kind of justify that. Oh, I'm just a lad. I'm gonna go hang out with them, which again, it sounds so bizarre now that I'm saying it out loud. But yeah, that's kind of um, what I battle with sometimes with
Yeah,
my closest group of friends.
I'd say there's the two things there. They wouldn't like they if they didn't want you there, they wouldn't ask you to be there. So,
Exactly right. Yeah, that's what
and
I kind of think as well.
the other thing as well, Uncle Elliot's coming. Great, I can just chill out a bit.
Yes,
Elliot can look after the kids. Like I can
exactly right.
relax. So you're probably helping him if anything.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what I'm saying. I got a battle. So we just had an amazing as a group of friends. Three of the boys got married within a space of 10 days in three different countries last year. So one got married in Dublin in Ireland. One got married um, in Sicily. In I can't think of the place. It's Palermo, well,
oh,
near Palermo, and then another boy got married in the south of France in Avignon. Or Avignon, I'm butchering that, but essentially, within the space of 10 days, we had to fly from Ireland to Sicily to France, three weddings, very drunk, very hungover for the 10 days, and
mm,
fly home. And then so it's kind of this is what I'm saying. To say it out loud that my friends don't like me having around. It's like, well, Elliot, you wouldn't have gotten invited to three weddings overseas if they didn't love you as a person and
mm,
they wanted you
mm.
to be there. So sitting at home by myself, going, they don't love you, and then it's like, no, Elliot, here's irrefutable evidence that they do love you. Stop being silly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, now you've got it recorded, so if you ever feel like that again, you can
exactly
listen to
right.
yourself.
I can go back. Exactly right. Self affirmation.
That's cool. No, it sounds like you've got a real tight network, and I was going to add to that, you're very, very lucky because I know how people feel lonely in today's world, and it can
Mm,
be hard to make friends. So the fact that you've got a big network of
yeah.
friends, like, yeah, you're very lucky. And it's
Oh,
like I
yeah.
said, you wouldn't if you're not being invited to go to stuff, then yeah, okay, they don't want you there. But the fact that they
Yeah.
are, is yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. I know.
lucky. So, um, and what did you think life would be like as an adult when you were a kid?
God, I thought I'd have a house. You know what I mean? I'm 33. I thought I'd have a wife and two kids with a picket fence, and like I don't know. Like growing up, I just I just looked at the model that my mum and dad had. You know what I mean? I'm just like, oh well, this must be what you're supposed to do. Just yeah, you grow up, fall in love, have kids, and the rest is kind of the rest is you just make it up as you go.
Mm,
And then as I kind of grew up, going through my first girlfriend and then breaking up and going through my second girlfriend and breaking up and stuff, quickly realized it's like, oh God, finding the one for you kind of is a bit of a struggle if you yourself don't know what you're looking for.
mm,
I don't think, well, if it was a movie, it'd be amazing, but I don't think you can just stumble into love. I think you've got to kind of work on yourself first and then attract a certain person. Yeah, I mean, if some people do just stumble into love, good on them. But can it be me next? Maybe that'd be nice as well.
mm. Put it out there in the universe.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
No, you're right. Like I was talking to a guy a week ago at the Run Club. He's 39 years old and he's having his first kid. And then
Oh
my
wow.
my really close friend, like they just had a kid and he's 42, so
Yeah,
that's his third.
yeah,
And I was chatting to him about that, and I said, like, I've got people back home, and they're like married, house, kids, blah blah blah. And I'm married, but like I'm same as you, same as you.
yeah.
So like don't have a kid. I thought about the dog and all of that, but there's a couple of things there which I've realised is you can't compare to anybody else because other people have other things they like what you have, which other people don't have.
Mm,
If that makes sense. So there's
yeah.
that. The other thing is um like you've got more things to look forward to, if that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly right. I guess like looking forward to that engagement day, dropping the knee. Will you marry me? Looking forward to the
Yeah.
big wedding. Looking forward to the honeymoon. Yes, that's a really nice spin on it. I like that. Thanks, Aiden. That's a really good way to. That's a really good way to look at it. Yeah, for sure.
Is there any other, because I'm keen on like with this as well, like people are giving me lots of tips as well, and I'm
Mm,
sharing it obviously to other people who are listening. Is there anything that
mm.
you, when you feel like that, is there anything that you do?
And what when I'm feeling kind of like down and out about it, or like questioning
Mm,
about, I I do it now recently. I do a lot of like self reflecting. Like I said,
okay.
like with my friends. Thinking negative, but then mate, here's the evidence to prove elsewise. It's almost I don't know, call it maturity. It's
Hmm.
don't the old adage, love will find you when you least expect it, kind of thing. And I think that's very much true. If I'm working on myself, I'm building really good foundations, and I'm comfortable with myself. I'm comfortable who I'm becoming. I'm comfortable who I will be. You don't need to stress, because I think that confidence in yourself will kind of show itself to the right person.
Mm,
And in saying that, you were saying some of your friends, one of your friends was 39 and had his first kid. I think my dad was 40 when he had myself
there
and
you
my
go.
brother. So it's like
Yeah.
I'm 33. I've still got 7 years, so I'm chilling. Like I'm
Yeah. Happy
like there is
days.
no stress at all. And
Yeah.
especially with the way the world kind of is at the moment, they're saying that 30 is the new 20. The way housing is and everything, you've got a lot of people that have gone to university or trades, and they're still living at home in their mid 20s to late 20s. Um, so I think, yeah, that timeline of finding the right person in your early 20s to being married to being set up in your early to mid 30s, I think that scale in now is being slightly elongated to
Yeah.
maybe finding someone in your 30s, getting set up in your mid to late 30s, and then having your kids in your late 30s, maybe, yeah, early 40s.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm glad we talked about it because I hear it a lot. So I hope people can take little pieces of this away and kind of have their own self
Yeah,
reflection and
exactly right.
um, so yeah. And last one about childhood because I do
Yes.
have to move on. What took
Oh,
up most
sorry.
of your time as a kid? No. In terms of I'm conscious of your time, if anything.
Oh, yeah, I know. I've just looked down. I'm like, I'm trying to do this and get out of here. It's a football, sport. Loved it. If I wasn't playing football, I was doing basketball. Wasn't basketball, swimming before school. Like, yeah, sport was just, I was that sports kid. Loved it.
Yeah, you're still into sports a
Yeah,
lot.
very much so. Very much so.
That's cool. So significant moments. What was like your big either failure or significant moment that you remember? Or what is the
Oh,
biggest if you can't think of the first one?
the, the biggest significant moment. Um, a really big moment I had was when I was 16. I went overseas for football. Not that I was going to be a professional or anything like that. It's just I did one of those academies, and then they said to my parents, "Hey, he's he's not going to be a superstar, but he's definitely not bad enough. We'd like to bring him onto one of these tours. Obviously, you got to pay a little bit of a money thing, but I had to trial, and I had to go there, and I was never really I never really went through a professional setup playing. I kind of just was taught through the coaches I had and like through my dad. So
Mm,
in sporting wise, for someone to externally saying, "Yep, we'll take Elliot overseas and he can see how the professionals actually do it," for me that was like a holy moly! I've finally done it. This is amazing. Um, and in regards to sport, in regards to um, like an adult life kind of thing, would be um, my breakup with it. Probably was my own, well, my technically my second girlfriend, but the only like significant girlfriend I had. I dated her for I think it was just over 4 years or just under 4 years. So then breaking up with her, um, was probably the first time where I had a lot of a lot of spare time on my hands, but a lot of like negative emotions.
mm,
I think almost to the point, if you would call it depression. I don't think it was. I don't think I ever got to that place, but I specifically remember, I think I cried myself to sleep for about 4 months. And it's always, I'm never going to find someone, and this is the worst, and oh, how am I ever going to live life without this girl? Um, and then slowly but surely building up that self confidence, and that was just again through sport and through asking mates, hey, what am I going to do? How am I going to get through this? And luckily, having that strong connection of the boys, they were like, "Els, mate, don't worry, just get back up, come to the pub, or come play sport, or get on video games, and just play the shit out of Halo Combat, fucking Immortal, or whatever it was called, for 10 hours or whatever it was." But what I bring that up is because I use that now to reflect on a lot of the times if I do have some sort of negative headspace.
Mm.
I'd like to reteach myself how I got out of that to then better myself in situations as an adult.
Yeah.
So they're probably two significant moments growing up. And yeah, to answer your question, I think, is there anything else? I'm sure there is, but off the top of my head, I can't think of them. Yeah, right
Yeah.
now.
I guess the girlfriend thing is similar to this question, but have you ever felt like you've lost someone or something?
Yeah. So obviously, losing your girlfriend as a young man definitely plays a part on the way you think and the way you see the world.
Mm.
I did actually, and then just losing family members and close friends um, also plays forever a big part. When I was younger, I think I was more in touch with my feelings. I lost a friend when I was 15 years old. Um, that was obviously um, bit of a critical cool moment because as a 15-year-old, everything's hunky dory and happy go lucky, and that was the first major death of my life of being directly close to me. It was one of my close friends. His name was Chris, um, and then losing grandparents, losing my grandmothers as well. That was a bit that was a bit strange because on one side, my mother's mum, she had dementia, Alzheimer's. So, but she was still very able-bodied. So you saw this amazing, strong woman who would look after all these grandkids, obviously, um, be confined to a small room, and eventually, couldn't remember, even my mum. So even remember her daughters.
Mm.
So that was a bit eerie as a young man to see that. But then also on my other side, when I lost my dad's mum, it was the opposite. She was still, even the day before that she rested, fully able of mind, talk to you,
Wow.
tell you what's on everything. Could have a full conversation with tubes everywhere, whatever. It's just for whatever reason her body just wanted to give up on her. So I got to see two very different passings, but and two, yeah, it was those two played a big part in the way I see death. Um,
Mm.
yeah, and that's a bit.
What's when things like that happen, what would you say is like your go-to coping mechanism?
Oh, that it's probably it's just it sounds so simple, but it's just sport. It's gym. It's doing something that I don't have time to think about it. Yeah, it's
Mm.
90 minutes on the football field. It's going in the gym and lifting really heavy weights. Um, it's listening to loud music or something like that. It's movement for me. Movement is my medicine.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm having a tough day, I go to the gym. Like it's my yeah, that's kind of my medicine. To simply put it, movement is my medicine.
Yeah. Nice. And so the person that you are now, what would you say as an adult have you changed from when you were younger?
Um, Most things I've probably changed is my belief in myself. As much as I was a happy-go-lucky kid, extroverted kind of kid, which I still am now, um, having that belief in myself has drastically changed the way that I talk to people, drastically changed the way I work in my workspace, the way I am treated in the gym, the way I'm treated in the football fields, the way people talk to me generally. Um, I don't know when that switch actually happened, but yeah, that intrinsic belief in myself has absolutely changed the way I am perceived, or I think I'm perceived, for the better. Yeah, well, my life is like rainbows and sunshines at the moment. So
That's good. So you can't recall like what happened? Because maybe
no,
I was thinking, has maybe someone or something triggered, saved you in a way, like I don't
it's
know.
there. I guarantee you there would have been someone in my ear telling me, Elliot, mate, like why are you thinking like this? You're a great guy. You know, you've got a lot going on. You still play sport. You're a very fit young man. You know what I mean? You bought a new car, and you're lucky enough to have bought an apartment. Um, so there must have been someone in my life that's obviously planted that seed, and yeah, it's just started to grow and grow, and yeah, I haven't really looked back since that moment. I wish I could pinpoint it and find that person who planted it, because I'd probably give them a big hug. But I don't know. I just don't know when that moment was.
Yeah, okay. Do you think you say you were extroverted? Do you think that was like a cover up to cover like your confidence,
For
your
sure.
self-belief?
I used it. Yeah, I used it to definitely. I got told like I was a try hard like as a kid, but in my mind I was like, what's the point if you're not going to try hard? What's the point? You know what I mean? You gotta try hard. So being the happy go lucky. Oh, nothing affects me. Definitely was a cover up for the days when I got home, and I just remember like closing my bedroom door and just like sliding down, going, "Oh
Mm.
God, that sucked." You know what I mean? Yeah.
Do you, so now, would you say that you are okay with you were saying earlier, obviously, that you're
Mm,
in that kind of people pleasing phase.
mm, mm.
If you're now comfortable where you are, do you feel like that you're okay and comfortable if you have to disappoint people and let them down? How do you feel about that?
Yes. Yeah, yeah. So, I oh, I now we have a phrase at where I work, and just a bit of a 101. The company I work at, one of the guys I work with, he used to be my old state manager. Um, I think 7 or 8 years ago, for another air conditioning company. So he's kind of watched me grow up and mature as a young man. And he
Mm,
always said a phrase, learn to have hard conversations. Um,
mm,
there'd be times just like whether you need to have a coffee or where you need a pep talk around the office, but make sure you have it. It doesn't have to be once a day, but if there is a hard conversation, aka you're going to let someone down and going to tell someone information you don't want to hear, you've got to
mm,
have that conversation, because it'll help you not only in like sales or in business, but in having hard conversations with friends and with family. Um,
yeah.
so that's definitely yeah, having a hard conversation. No one likes it. I don't think anyone kind of even if you're good at it, obviously you've trained in doing that. I
Mm.
don't think anyone wants to have like a hard conversation like, Aiden, you have to call this man and you have to tell him that you're not getting the deal. Like you kind of will be like, what do I have to?
Mm.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I can relate. I was listening to something the other day actually, and it was around like whenever you feel anxious about a certain situation, the best way to
Mm,
deal with it is to actually go over the top and really go into that situation. So, like,
mm,
I don't know, for example, if you're in like public speaking, something that you find
mm.
really anxious about
Yeah.
it, the best thing to do to manage that is actually go, yeah, I am really anxious, and I'm gonna be anxious about it. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna be super anxious about it. I'm gonna really make it difficult for me, and I'm gonna talk in front of a crowd. And just the whole process of accepting the
Yeah.
fact that you're anxious helps as
Yeah.
well. And I've never really thought about it that way.
That's a really good spin. I've never really, yeah,
Mm,
I've definitely thought about it. And well, I used to hate public speaking.
mm,
And then now I'm on a podcast talking to you, and I do a bloody weekly little talk show on Chirp Day. So, obviously I would have had that some sort of intrinsic conversation myself, going, I don't really like talking to a camera, to nobody essentially, but I'm gonna do it anyway. And then once you get over that hurdle, you just go, oh, okay, well that was kind of easy. No, I kind of maybe I enjoyed that. Maybe I'll do it again. So,
yeah. So this
mm,
is why. So I'll tell you now. The only time I go on Facebook is to sign up to some sort of race or
yeah, yeah,
do something running related. but I always see your chirp show, and as little as I use it, I do watch yours when I'm
Oh,
on,
thank you, thank you.
and I think they're brilliant. So I'd love for you to just I'd love to even find out personally, but for people who are listening, like, where did that come
Yeah.
about? Tell me
So
more.
So Chirp Day Chirp Day Tuesday is what we call it. But if I can't do it on Tuesdays, I do it on Wednesdays. If I can't do it on Wednesdays, I do it on Thursdays. Anyway, Chirp Day basically started with me venting about shit drivers in Sydney. So I'd just get out of my car and be like, "Oh my god, this one guy cut me off," and and for whatever reason, I think it was maybe 4, 5 years. Oh, it's 2026. I would have been doing it. Oh, I went traveling 2019 before COVID. So I would have actually been doing it maybe for 8 years. Wow. Yeah, it would have just been me absolutely going off about something, just the art of nothing. And then for whatever reason, I would have got someone going, haha, that's kind of funny. And then that, little ping in my head going, oh, maybe I'll do it again. You know what I mean? And then it kind of progressed from just me venting to then me going, oh, right, I'm going to talk about 3 things, to then someone actually, at the time, one of the boys I knew, he was at university, he was doing kind of media marketing. My little like Chirp Day where it's got the little Tweety bird and the flame, he created that for me. He's like, hey, I had a bit of time. I've created you a bit of a format. Use it if you want to. And then that kind of cemented it going, oh, wow, like people actually really like it. I never would have thought, even though it was free and it probably took him 2 minutes, the gift of that giving to me kind of made me go, oh my god, like this is kind of really fun, and people are really receptive of it. So I'm just going to keep going, and it's kind of snowboard, because at the gym that I go to, it got out that I do it, and then now everyone's like on Tuesday going, oh, Elliot, what are you going to talk about? What are you going to talk about? I'm like, I can't tell you. It's a surprise. So
That's
it's become
great.
this little talk show, and it's about nothing. And I actually now post them on TikTok as well. Again, not to be famous or anything. It's just because for whatever reason, some people are just, when they're scrolling through TikTok, will see it and watch it. And yeah, it's just, it's great.
Send me your social media accounts if you're happy for me to, because I'll share it on this. And anybody who's listening, you have to at least watch them, because they're
Oh,
great.
no.
I love them.
Oh, no.
And the other thing I want to, and that's why I got you on, because I was like, I find the stuff you're talking about so relatable. So yeah, it's cool. The one question I do want to ask is, at the end when you close off, you say something about talking, but you say it so quickly, mate. I'm like, I can't keep up. So please, can you say it to me?
Oh yeah, okay. Basically, what I say is thank you for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you that do. Hope you're having a good week. Hope you continue to have a good week. If you're not feeling the best and you need to see someone or speak to someone, speak to friends, speak to family. And if it's something more serious, speak to a professional. That's what they're there for. Caring, patient, honest. As always, your mental health is very important, and you deserve recognition for things that you do in life. And then I do a little like goodbye, bless him, and say whatever. I have no idea where that came from. I think I said that once off the cuff, and I've gone, wow, that was fantastic. Tattoo it on my forehead. I'm like,
I love that. That's brilliant. That's so cool, man. That is really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you need to slow it down a tad.
Yeah, that's so over. So I used to say it slow like that.
Yeah.
And then the running joke for a time was people commonly going, say it as fast as you can. Try and say it as fast as you can. So, and then that's the way it's kind of stuck. And that's just, it's a running joke for like the OG watchers, if that makes sense.
Love that. Yeah. I need to catch up then. That's what.
Well, I stopped actually for about, I think it was 2 or 3 years, for no reason. I just, whatever it is, I missed one, and I just fell out of love of posting. Not that there was a reason, or not that I think anything crazy went through, or maybe it was, maybe that specifically is the reason as to why maybe I was down in the dumps. But for whatever reason, I've got my flame back. I love it. I'm gonna keep posting, and then it's just a bit of shit talking.
Yeah, nice. And I'd love to watch them all, but I'm not gonna lie. Like, I try and avoid getting on the apps, because I'm on there. and then I'm just
Yeah,
on it for hours. So, but when I do, I love them. They're great.
yeah.
So yeah, please keep doing them.
I will. I will.
And if I had to ask, who are you now? What would you say?
Wow. Who am I now? Um, I think I'm generally having a bit of an honest moment. I think I'm the happiest, healthiest, and yeah, honest version of myself I have been ever.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I think saying that out loud is yeah, happy, healthiest, and honest person. I have ever been.
Why do you think that is?
I think just recently with training, like call it hitting PBs and finding a passion for running and for sport and having people tell you that and work. And I've just recently changed jobs. Not that my last job was bad, but I said to myself, I want to change jobs. I want to look for a new job. I want a new challenge. So maybe it's at that point where I've said something, put points into action, and then actually acted upon it. I think it's just a bit of a snowballing effect. So whatever reason, like I said, my life right now is rainbow and sunshines, and I'm gonna ride that wave for as long as I can.
Great. No, that's really cool. Are you quite do you like routine, or is that why? Were you getting stuck in a rut and now you've changed it up? Is that what it is, or?
100%. I think
Mm.
I love routine. I like the idea, like, and some people don't, but for me it works. I like the idea of here's your 9 to 5 or your 8 to 4.
Mm.
That's your finite work hours, whatever it is, whatever industry it is. And I like the idea of waking up, training, doing something for myself, going to the gym, and in the afternoons, whether it be football or whether I have the energy again to go back to the gym to lift more weights. But yeah, I do thoroughly enjoy the structured work life for whatever reason. Don't know, but yeah, it just ticks boxes for me.
How often do you go to the gym?
Nearly every day and every night. Yeah, yeah. Like
Jeez.
I specifically, like this morning, got up at 5 o'clock, did a run club, did 8 kilometers, um, came home, did this, and I'm probably going to go to the 7 o'clock boxing class as well.
Wow. You must eat a lot to keep up with the
yeah,
calories.
yeah. That's a running joke as well. Everyone's like, Elliot, where do you put it? Where do you
Mm.
put it? Yeah, I
I
love it.
I I was the same, but I'm now getting into like because my worst thing is that I don't really like breakfast. So then my window to eat food's really small.
Mm.
But then I've got into like the whole overnight oats thing,
Oh,
that
yep.
because you can just throw shit ton of like
yeah,
mixed nuts, peanut butter, like
yeah,
all this stuff was like full of good stuff, but also calorie. Yeah,
yeah. And
that
then you flush it
that's
down in like 30 seconds and you're done. You're like, okay, that's me. See you later.
mm,
Yep.
yeah,
And
that
especially
works.
with especially with your running, if you're getting up training in the morning, do you find that you need to eat when you like run? No?
I
Oh,
run on an empty stomach.
oh my goodness. I need to eat. I need as soon as I'm up, my eyes are open, I need to shovel something in my mouth. Yeah,
Yeah, right.
it's bad.
I don't get the craving. And I ate breakfast because I just got told that you have to because it's supposed to be the most important meal of the day. Until I realized that Kellogg's came up with that slogan, and it's just a
Really?
marketing bug. Yeah.
Oh,
It's
bullshit.
not it's no health, there's no health related science there. It's just Kellogg's.
Bloody Kellogg's. I
I
don't
know,
even
bastards.
bloody do I even have Kellogg's in my no, I don't actually. I'm a Wheat Bix guy, so it doesn't matter.
But yeah, so yeah, that's interesting. Would you find like let's say you had to stop the gym,
Yeah.
would that change how you are? Do you think?
I'd have to find a substitute. I'd have to bloody run morning and afternoon. I'd have to do a triathlon or something. I'd have to yeah. I'd have to find an
Mm.
outlet for sure. I need at
So
least a
that's your
daily outlet.
therapy.
Yeah, movement. Like I'm saying, my movement is
Yeah,
medicine. If I'm moving,
yeah,
and I'm happy. If I'm
nice.
doing something to appease my body, it ticks all my three buckets. My physical, emotional, is it spiritual, physical, emotional? Well, anyway, it ticks
Yeah,
everything. Yeah. I'm
yeah,
just yeah.
nice. Are you scared of anything?
Oh, as a kid, was horrified of dying. Horrified. Um, I would see a dead bird, or I'd see the dead cat, and I'd just break down. I'm like, oh God, it's gonna be me next, which is not anything at all. Um, but am I scared of anything now? Oh, look, I could probably say, which I've gotten better at, is definitely rejection. Not like on the dating apps or anything like that, but just like because I've now worked up this kind of inner peace or this kind of inner acceptance of myself. I think it would be quite hard if I did meet someone or was in a scenario where it directly directly affected affected that or directly said something that would um yeah, target this newfound, well, not newfound, but target the confidence essentially I have in
Mm.
myself. But I think a lot of people would have that. I think a lot of people would not like if someone or a scenario purposely put you on a pedestal and then kind of tore away the pieces of who you were.
Mm.
Um, am I scared of anything else? Ah, God. Um, is the interest rate's going to go up on my mortgage? That's also kind of scary.
Especially living in Sydney, Jesus, it's a lot.
Oh no.
That
So
must have been a big moment though, buying your own property.
yes, yeah, it was. That would be yeah, it was a bit scary. You know, you kind of have all this savings and you don't really know what to do. And then my mum's like, "You should get a home loan." Oh, okay, no worries. Yep, cool.
Yeah.
And then obviously I went 50-50 like with my brother. So it
Cool.
was it was kind of nice. Obviously scary, but it was kind of nice jumping into the deep end of like property with your twin brother.
Yeah.
I probably haven't talked about him as much, but it's a bit of a cheat code having a twin brother or having a twin, whether it be a sister or two girls and two guys or a boy and a girl. Um,
Mm.
you have a best friend or you have someone that is there for you unconditionally.
Yeah.
As quickly as he pisses me off and I piss him off, call it right now. I'm pretty sure last week we were getting a bit testy at each other. And then 10 minutes later, I'm like, "Well, am I going to cook you dinner or like, what do you want?" So yeah,
That's
yeah.
fun,
So,
yes. Do you look
mm.
alike as well? Are you quite similar?
Oh, we have the same family haircut now. We both have to shave their heads, both follically challenged.
So
But
I might see someone who looks just like you, and I'm going to be shouting them down the street.
well,
Hey, how are you,
well,
mate? And he'll be like,
well, well. Recently, that movie on Netflix, Prey, has come out, and everyone
okay.
reckons I look like Taron Egerton with a shaved head. And I'm like,
Oh,
well,
okay.
I don't know, maybe because I've just got a grainy filter, but everyone's kind of like, yeah, Els, he's you, and I'm like, well, if I'm older than him, like, yeah, he's me, so yeah, I'm him, whatever, like whatever the age difference is.
I haven't seen it. I'll have to look.
Mm, but yeah,
um,
supposedly.
would you say you feel misunderstood sometimes?
No, no, I think I'm very much an open shut case. I think
Mm.
very quickly people meet me, know me, see me, um,
Mm.
and then yeah, I don't have a poker face, so people will meet me and then go, "Yeah, I've got this guy figured out. That he's fine. Like
Ah,
he's simple.
and
Don't
you're
worry
like,
about
yeah,
him."
great,
Yeah,
nailed
yeah,
on.
that's me. Yeah, yeah, exactly right. And I'm not
Uh,
ashamed of that. No way.
okay. And what would you tell your past self if you could give a message to your younger self?
Oh, probably, yeah. Have a bit more belief in yourself, son. Like, just know that everything's gonna be okay, and yeah, actually, dive in that deep end. You'd be surprised. I definitely know, looking back on it, thinking back on it, there's some situations where I've like just put up my hand or just stepped forward for a certain situation. I would have been very, very happy with the outcome that was to come of that
Yeah.
specific piece.
Okay, nice. What do you want people to think of you as a person?
Hmm. As much as I am showing like my best self in regards of being like happy go lucky and yeah and talking to you with all smiles, I
Mm.
generally think that's kind of like that's who I am. I am as much as I'm happy. I am honest. I do see the best in people, and I hope they see the best in me. Um, I yeah I don't really want anyone to think that I'm being snarky, or don't want anyone. And then maybe it goes back to being that kind of that wanting people to like me. But I generally just think I am who I am. I'm happy,
Mm.
and if you like me, you like me, and if you don't, that's fine too, because everyone's walking a different path, and I don't need to
Mm.
worry about your specific opinion of me.
Yeah, nice. No, I would agree. I'd say you're like every time we haven't chatted in such a long time, but every time I speak to you, we're laughing. There's always something we're
Yeah,
joking and pissing around about, and
yeah,
yeah, it's I'd say like I reckon your friends would say this too, who you hang around with a lot. You're one of
mm,
them people where if I come to you, I know I can just chill. Like there's going to be no
mm,
dramas. We're going to have a good time, and
yeah.
that's really comforting to have. So it's a good gift to have for sure.
No, thank you. Yeah, it's well, that's hopefully what I'm yeah, exuding to the world. Yeah, you don't. Yeah, life doesn't need to be all down and gloomy, and you can have a conversation. And it can be shallow. It can be water. It can just be level. It doesn't have to go in depth. I don't have to ask you about what does that really mean. How do you really feel?
Mm.
If you want to talk about football, and
Yeah,
that
interesting. And is
that's a cover to.
sorry, mate, I interrupted you. I didn't. I think it was cutting out.
Oh no, that's okay. Yeah, it shifted, but no, yeah, it doesn't have to be deep. It can just be it can be shallow. We can just talk about the football, and we can talk about the weather. And if you want to have a beer, it's fine by me. You don't have to open up to me. I can just give you 10 minutes of my time, and then if that
Mm.
makes you feel a little bit better, you can go on your way. So, yeah.
I'm keen on finding out. What if somebody comes to you and say, I have a problem. I have a really deep issue here. I need to talk to you about it. Are you
I
okay with that? Are you?
Yes, now very much so. I th- Again, I think it's because of what I've done in my self belief and the way I've kind of taught myself to navigate certain scenarios and emotions. I
Mm.
don't think I can say what I say at the end of chirp day and not expect someone to go, actually, you said speak to someone, can I speak to you? So, yeah, very much so. If someone actually said, hey, Els, I have a hard conversation. Do you mind if I speak to you about it?
Mm.
I'm all ears. Let's actually deep dive, and let's if you want to listen to my opinions, great. Or if you want me just to shut up and to absorb some of your deeper emotions, more than happy to do that as well.
Mm. Yeah, and especially for like, there's I think the first episode I did actually
Mm,
a guy who he's had his struggles, and Jason, and he talks about
mm,
like he's in social groups.
mm,
I have to remember the name. They go on a certain day in the morning early. They go to the beach, do a workout, have a
mm.
swim, then have a chat. And it's
Oh,
just
beautiful.
men, because what they're doing is they're trying to encourage men to actually open up and have a
Mm.
conversation and be okay with being vulnerable, and be
Oh,
you don't
brilliant.
have to be this man like how
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
stereotype is. Like you can talk about how you feel, and it's okay to be like that. And this is for me, like I enjoy having these conversations as well, because
Mm,
I genuinely like having a conversation about how do you feel, how like
mm,
and this definitely helps me, and I hope this is part of my plan as well. Like I hope
mm.
people can listen to this and be like, oh, okay, yeah, I can talk about my feelings.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I think it's very important, especially for men. You see a lot of, and I call it mainstream media, but more than recently, you've had toxic masculinity thrown in, and now you've got
Mm.
this. I think it's called the Manosphere that came out.
Oh
I
yeah.
think I got through about 20 minutes of it and went, "Oh God, how boring!" You know what I mean? Oh, I've got to be the alpha, and it's like, brother, you have no substance at all. At like,
Mm.
I don't. I think, and there's a lot of, and some people will agree with me or not. You could say, for example, I know, for example, Joe Rogan gets a lot of stick. I don't really watch him or listen. I've seen little snippets. There's also a
Mm.
guy, Jordan Peterson, and some people might instantly going, "Oh, that bald head guy, he's manosphere." But I was like, no, no, no. I'd like to think of the sense of you have to listen to people you don't agree with, because you have to hear their side of the story,
Yeah.
and it I think it better evaluates your own opinion on a certain subject, because if you're just media biased and you only
Mm.
search up, why is the earth flat, prove that the earth is flat or whatever, you're going to purposely find information that supports you, you've
Mm.
got to listen to people that are like, no, the earth is round and here's why. Because you yourself, I'm just saying that's a very silly scenario, but you can kind of gather more information on the other side. And who knows, if you're listening to people that are biased to you and unbiased to you, you're going to have, I think, a more complete
Mm.
or complete idea of a certain situation.
Yeah. Yeah. There is a book, I can't see it right now. There's one, it's called, oh, I don't know, it's there somewhere. It's The Superior Man. And
Oh yeah.
it's so I kind of got it in the sense of like, is this going to be really like, to be a man, you have to be the breadwinner and all that.
Mm,
And do you know what? It was the complete opposite. It was like you can absolutely be a strong, dominant man by
mm,
showing lots of love and care and yeah,
mm.
being the husband and being that kind of role model person, but
Oh, for
in an
sure.
opposite sense of like, if your, I don't know, your partner, and it actually says partner, and it's because
Mm.
it says you can be in a, same-sex marriage or
Yeah,
whatever, but if
yeah,
your
yeah.
partner's feeling sad or
Mm,
angry or vulnerable, like by showing them your masculinity in the sense of love actually empowers
mm,
you and your partner as well. And I was like, I've never thought about it that way.
mm.
So I always thought like being a man and masculine is like being that kind of angry, aggressive kind of, but
Same, same.
it is, yeah, it is, but in the sense of caring and being supportive
Mm.
and in the most positive way. So yeah, no, that's pretty cool. Um, is there anything that you kind of want, desire, wish for in life now?
Oh, jokingly, an extra $1 million in the bank account would absolutely be fantastic.
Yeah.
But I read a book, The Barefoot Investor, when I was kind of learning about how savings is, and how essentially to feel like you are rich in a world where is a lot of people that are a lot richer than you are, but here's your situation. That kind of, in a way, taught me to not really want a lot. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
I'd love a Lamborghini, but if every day I'm gonna wanting a Lamborghini, want a Lamborghini, everything I do is gonna look like a failure because I don't have the salary, I don't have the funds, I don't have any possible way to get a Lamborghini. So if I'm
Mm.
thinking about a Lamborghini every day, I'm a loser. But I'm
Mm.
not. I've got an apartment I live in. I've got great health. I've got a really good job. I have my own car that I own. Um,
Mm.
like I can cook my own meals if I really want to. Like, I'm a very wealthy man. I don't need I don't need a Lamborghini. I'm already rich.
Mm. Yeah, absolutely. I've read that too, and I'd honestly, anybody who's listened to this,
Mm,
like read it because it's
great book.
such a good book, and it's just really basic principles on how
Yeah,
to view money, finance, how to manage it. Yeah, so
yeah.
highly recommend that. No, that's cool. Anything else you wish for?
Mm, I wish people would use their indicator more on the roads. That'd be really nice.
Yeah, but if they didn't, you wouldn't have started the daily
Yeah,
chat. So there you
I know
go.
exactly right. So thank you. Actually, yeah, no, I take that all back. Actually, stop using your phone. Do I wish for anything else? See, I'm so cemented in my idea of I'm very content with what I've got, that it's
Mm.
it's kind of hard to look. Honestly, if I could say I'm reaching for something, I think it'd just be a bit more time, active time to spend with my family, like we were when we were younger. Like, it would be nice to just only drive 5 minutes and see my mum and dad down the road instead of having to drive 3 hours. It would be nice just in the middle of the day. I'm having a lunch break, and for whatever reason, I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna leave and just go hang out with my brother or hang out with my sister, or to see my family really. Um, yeah, I think generally just more time in the day to have active time, like with my family,
Mm.
and whether it's my brothers, sisters, mum and dad, or my cousins, to be honest.
Yeah, nice. Oh, that's cool. And do you believe in fate? Do you think kind of your path's written, or do you think you have choices?
Mm, definitely choices
Mm.
for sure. Fate, it's Because if I say yes, then no matter what you've done, it's just self-determined. So there's no point in even trying, right? But if I say no, then every single choice, whether it be that you've made or someone else has made towards you, is then also correct. For like, you know what I mean? Like you didn't get picked last. Sorry, you got picked last on a football team. Oh, that means you suck. You know what I mean? But then it will. Was it fate? So it doesn't matter because next week I'm going to get picked first. Or if it's not fate, does that mean that collectively all the decisions I've made up to this point have now magnified that I'm the kid that hasn't got picked for a football team or something? So it's a bit. Oh God, would I?
Do you
Can
think
I say
everything happens for a
half?
reason then?
I think that you make your own luck. I think that
Okay.
you can you can do certain things to shift a certain defining moment.
Hmm.
Um, but no, I don't think that in 5 years' time I'm gonna cross the road and I'm gonna bump into my wife or my girlfriend who's gonna be my wife or whatever, something like that. Yeah, I think you've got to make your
Okay.
own luck or make your own. You got to, yeah.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, no, that's interesting. I've had different answers for that, so that's quite interesting.
That was a good question. I liked it. That was a good question.
And I've got two more. So, what are
Yeah.
your values?
Oh, what are my values? What are my values?
Mm. What do you believe in?
Well, my values, if anything, would be it's something. It's just something to do with like positivity. My values would be to, well, right now it'd be like value my time with my friends and family, and value my inner peace. Like I'm purposely doing things again to just be happy and to be content and to not let anything um, affect me.
Mhm.
My values of my family, um, the love that they give me, and the love and support that I show them. Um, my values probably in my work, being able to give my best into that situation, to to make, even though I know it is a company, but also to showing the value of who I am in my immediate team, to know that they can rely on me and depend on me.
Mm.
Um, would there be another value in, yeah, even my cousins, even though I haven't seen them for a long time, like they've got young kids, to show that if they ever did need me to go down and come see them or go look after the kids, that I could be of value, I guess, to them. um it's probably how I'd answer that.
Cool. And what are your hobbies? Are there any? Obviously, I know you're
Yep.
you're a footballer, you're a
Yep.
gym
Mm-hmm.
runner. Any
Yep.
nerdy hobbies? I always find this quite
Oh,
interesting.
so I am a bit of a gamer, like most. I play. Got a PlayStation 5. I've got a Nintendo Switch. I've got a Game Boy. I
Mm.
read I read comics on my phone, on a little website called Tapas. Like I read little
Okay.
fantasy books about guys that the quad isekais. Obviously, they've got run over by a bus and they come back and then they're a magic swordsman and they can do all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of my little. While I'm having my morning coffee, I'll just go into my app and I'm like, oh, yep, there's a new chapter there. It takes about 4 minutes to read, and then go on about my days. Yeah, so they're kind of my little hobbies.
Cool. Love that. No, that's really cool. Great. Well, thank you so much again for
Oh, thank
for
you.
doing this. I
Mm,
love, like, I know you, but I don't know you, and now I
mm,
feel
mm.
like I know you. So it's been a
Yeah,
pleasure,
anytime.
and yeah,
Yeah, thank you.
like I said, I love your company. We should definitely actually meet in person, go for a beer and catch up because it's just
Yeah,
been way too long.
yeah,
So
exactly right. I can't believe it's been
thanks.
that long. I genuinely, yeah, it shocks me when I actually thought about it. I'm like, holy fuck, it's been a decade, maybe.
Yeah,
Unreal.
yeah. However long it's been too long. So, but
Mm.
no, again, thank you. Can you, as fast as you can, sign off with your sign off? Go on, dude. Let's go.
Okay. Okay, so basically I would do my little Instagram like chirp day, and then obviously
Yep.
it's called a wrap up, and I go, all right guys, blah blah blah, this, that, and I go, anyway, thank you again for watching, appreciate you enjoying the do, having a go week. If you do have a go week, even if you're feeling the best and need to talk to someone, please speak to friends and family. Something important, speak to a professional, safe or professional, as always. Your mental health is very important. You deserve recognition for things you do in life. So bang.
Love that. Well done.
Bang. So that's
Love
it.
it.
That's it.
Thank you so
Easy as.
much.
No worries, no worries.